All right, so if you've landed on this video, it means that you are either one of two people. You're either someone who's thinking of starting a low-ticket community, or you're someone who's ran a Skool community in the past, but is struggling with churn and low client lifetime value. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why 99% of Skool communities fail in the long term and what you should be offering instead for your online coaching business in 2025 or whatever the year may be. Now, these are the same exact strategies that took my client Azim from making like $500 a month with his cooked online Skool community to making almost $10,000 in the first week of April. So stay until the end of the video to learn exactly how we did it and how you can also implement it for your own business. So real quick, just before we start, I'm super excited for what we have the rest of 2025. We're gonna launch this new offer. We're gonna help so many more people, and no one's seeing it. Like, a lot of these people are stuck with their Skool communities. A lot of people are still stuck with their old strategies that don't make them more than like 5K a month. So us getting these results, we're able to multiply this and teach this to people who really need it, because the end goal is to simply make more so we can give more, right? That's really the message at the end of the day. We're trying to make more to benefit those around us, to really have an impact on the world, right? In doing good and really showcasing, the power that we are able to have as individuals with wealth. And most importantly, as creators, as coaches, we are here for a specific purpose. We are here to provide benefit to the people and to really change lives at the end of the day. We are changing lives with our offers, and we should be able to help as many people as possible. That's kind of the little yap session that I just wanted to get out real quick just before I get into the video, to show you exactly how you can grow your offer to help more people, to reach more people so you can make more and ultimately give more. So yeah, guys, back to the video. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's show you guys exactly why Skool is currently dead in 2025 and probably forever. Just do this instead. Obviously, that is a very catchy title, a very clickbaity title, you may think, but the reality is 99% of you guys probably will struggle with a Skool community long term, because it is only for those in the higher end, those who have so much volume that they can afford doing a Skool community, or they can afford doing a low ticket community. Now, I want to just run you through a first example of our client's Azim. This guy, he was struggling. He went from a very churning and burning Skool community. He was making like, this is 400 members at $10 a month, but it was like $10 a month after he hit 400 members. He had maybe like, it was all on like $5 a month or something like that. That was his main offer, actually. Very cooked, right? And he went from that to, absolutely no one active, absolutely nobody getting any results, to making $21,578 in his first month in less than 3 weeks, right? We are now projected at, we've hit about 10K. It's currently April. The first week of April, we've done around 10K. And so his offer, in January, it cooked, right? He went from whatever he was making with the Skool community, barely any money, to hitting 20K rev and 12K cash collected in his first 3 weeks. Now, if you want to learn exactly how we did it in terms of like the funnels that we use, in terms of the content that we posted and how we kind of change things up, just go ahead and watch this video. I give you all the sauce. I give you all the details. And I want to give you another example. You know what? Let's use another example. Big Isa, right? He has 338,000 followers in the fitness niche, right? This guy launched a Skool community, the wrong offer too. This guy had this, maybe some of you know it, but he's made around like probably 6K in the launch, but now it's doing around like 2K. Everyone's just leaving that right now. And so he's starting to realize like, hey, this is not the way to go. Now this guy's coming to us. Now we're going to launch a proper high ticket offer for the right market that he has, and print multiple 5 figures this month, inshallah, right? So that is really the two examples that I want to show you, right? The reality is most of you guys are probably around this state, or you're probably less, right? Doing a Skool community, doing a low ticket community is not going to work for you in this day and age, in any day and age, because you can't afford to do it. Now, number one, here's the reason as to why it's not worth it, right? Why it doesn't make sense. You miss out on the money that you could have made, right? Number one, you really miss out on the money that you could have made, right? I want you to think about it. There's a guy out there, he can pay you 3K, he can pay you 4K, 5K, all the way up to 10K, 15K for your services, right? Instead, this guy's paying you $50 a month. He's paying you, $100 a month, $200 a month, right? You're not giving him any attention. You're trying to manage him and like 200 other guys, 100 other guys, 50 other guys, right? And you're trying to get him results, but it's not working because there's no accountability. There's so many factors that are not taken into that he's not getting those results, right? And forget about results, right? Think about the workload. Let's say you want to hit 10K a month, right? Low ticket at 100K a month, or at $100 a month, you only need 100 clients, right? If you do a 5K offer, you only need 2 clients, right? 100 clients. You're doing customer support. You're doing so much admin. You're doing a lot of churn. You're just trying to keep everybody happy, right? When you're keeping only 2 people happy, you're able to focus with them. You're able to give them real transformations. You're able to actually get referrals from them after you give them the transformation. So that's another high ticket client, right? More testimonials, more peace, right? In general, you can use this to actually grow your offer. The Skool community, maybe, yeah, some people will feel good in the first few weeks. Oh my God, I learned a lot, but they're not going to get long-term results from that. You think everyone in there is going to get long-term results? No, that's why the majority of those people will churn. They're going to leave. And I'm going to give you down reason number 2, right? Number 2 is that it delays the buying process. Doing any sort of low ticket offer, like some sort of subscription low ticket offer where you're trying to manage a lot of people, right? For example, right, let's say you target busy guys. They will not have time to go through all the DIY stuff themselves, right? All the video modules that you have and all the group coaching and all that stuff. They're not going to feel very included in it with 50, 100, 200 other people. They're not going to have that commitment. They're not seeing any one-to-one accountability. They're not getting any results. And ultimately, they're going to churn. They're going to leave. And at the end of the day, your ideal clients, they don't want to DIY their way to results, right? These busy professionals, let's say you target busy professionals, they don't want another thing to figure out. When you offer like this sort of low-ticket product, you're giving them homework, right? They're going to buy it. They're going to forget about it. They're going to procrastinate. They're going to feel guilty. They're eventually going to churn because they did not have time to use it. They're not going to get even results, right? Maybe in the first few days, but that's it. It's really no different from these guys just like finding a tutorial on YouTube or asking ChatGPT, right? There's no actual urgency. They're going to get the information. They're going to get, some support here and there with 50, 100, 200 other people, but there's no actual one-to-one urgency to actually keep them going, right? They're not feeling accountable. They're not feeling like they're being, someone's holding their hand, walking them through the entire process. And so you have to understand that you, at the end of the day, you're put on this earth to solve real problems that real people face, right? Pricing your personal access at $50 a month is simply undervaluing the amount of change that you can actually make, right? People who join you at that low of a price point, they're not going to respect your time. They're not going to have any sort of commitment towards you because, okay, I have access to this creator with 300,000 followers or this valuable guy who makes, X amount of money and I can learn from him for only $50 a month. Does that sound like right in the head, right? For most cases, right? Your customer is not going to get any results. The majority of them will not get any results, right? Some of them will get results. Okay, I'm not saying you're not going to get results, but you're not going to get proper client case studies. You're not going to have proper wins to market yourself to get more leads, right? At the end of the day, you're both losing, right? You're not making enough money. He's not getting enough results. You're both losing at the end of the day. And that brings me to, going back to these examples right here. Why do people even run Skool communities? Why do they run this low ticket offer, right? If it sounds so appealing, sounds so great. It is because the idea actually just seems great, right? The execution is bad though. That's the issue. The idea is always good, right? Hey, imagine you can have all these things bundled up and it's like $15,000 worth of value at only $50 a month. That's how it seems. But when they enter, people are lazy. You have to understand that people like average, like B2C people like normal people, B2B people, even normal people are lazy at the end of the day, right? Getting access to this module and this community and like-minded people, X, Y, and Z. But most of them who do take action, they'll take action for like the first week, but then they'll just simply give up because they'll stop showing to the calls because they aren't committed to the process. And the reason why they're not committed to the process is because they haven't paid enough. Yes, they haven't paid enough to justify to themselves, to stay through the process. Imagine you're charging fitness coaching, right? You're charging like $100 a month for a Skool community and like, oh my God, there's video modules and like weekly group calls and stuff like that. Bro, this guy paid $100 a month, bro. Let's say he makes like $5K a month. He's not gonna think too hard about it. It's not too much of an impact. It's not burning too much of a fire within himself, right? But the moment they start paying thousands of dollars for a transformation, they're gonna think like, oh shoot, I paid thousands of dollars. I have to do this transformation. There's no other choice. I spent money on this. I have to stay committed to the process. Otherwise, I'm not getting my money's worth. And so with this price point, with this low ticket price point, more and more people are just starting to go inactive, right? The community is just going to become dead overall. People are going to start to leave after 1 or 2 months. Like I want you to look at Hamza. Let's look at Hamza, okay? He has like 1 million followers, 1 million subscribers, and he has a cult-like audience, right? He went from 1K members, he went from 1,000 members to like 500 members after a year. This is how his thing looks like right now. He's actually restructured his offer because he's understanding that $100 a month for, some sort of like feel good offer is not working out for him. And so now he's talking about making money online and he's doubling the price, $250 a month. It used to be $100 a month so that he can make the same amount of money that he was making before. But like even the big creators are starting to realize this, right? If this guy, Hamza, with a cult following and millions of viewers and followers online is doing it, why shouldn't you, right? Why shouldn't you make that transition, right? He's trying to realize it, but this is the only reason that he can do. Right? And he has a big following to actually justify to be able to do a low ticket, but you don't. Even Big Issa, he had 330,000 followers, but he still couldn't do it. 35 members. No one's online, right? Azim couldn't do it. It was cooked. That was their main offer. When you're big like that, yeah, you can have a main offer and you can like deal with things here and there, but you're not making enough money, right? And so what is the answer? What is the fix to the solution? I'm not going to give you like a brand new answer or something that's going to like, absolutely blow your mind away, but it's simply just one-to-one high-ticket coaching, right? Because there's a reason why everyone is starting to see the light in a normal, standard, scalable, service-based business model. This is the most simplest thing ever. It's just a consulting-based model. It is something that has existed throughout history, right? It's not something that is super new or like, hey, no, I'm paying you a good bit of money. I'm paying you what you're worth to provide me a service so I can get X or Y result, right? You can get dedicated clients who pay what you're worth. You work with them closely, you provide them results, you extract the client case study, you use that to get more clients, you rinse and repeat. Let's look at Azim so far. $8,000 rev, $6,000 cash collected. Now we're at $8K cash collected, $10K rev. First 5 days of April, first week of April now, right? This guy was making like freaking $500 a month with the Skool community. That was his main offer. And he had 100,000 followers, 140,000 followers. If that guy can't do it with 140,000 followers, what makes you think you can? What makes you think you can do it? This is 5 days into April. The guy's at 8K, 6K cash collected in the bank. And so if you're not viewing it from a business perspective, right? If you're just thinking about, oh, I have so many followers, or, oh, I have so much traffic and I can start a Skool community, I can benefit so many people. No, bro, people are going to leave, in 1 to 2 months most of the time, unless you have crazy retention methods, right? And most of you guys haven't figured out, how to keep retention, right? So why don't you save yourself the stress? Why don't you save yourself the headache of losing more money and having more work on your head to instead focusing on, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who's paying you thousands of dollars at a time, and you're able to work with them closely on a one-to-one scale, right? So now that we've established that transition from low ticket to high ticket coaching, right? Maybe you've tried high ticket coaching, maybe you've made that transition, maybe you do understand that high ticket is the way to go, providing one-to-one service is actually the proper way to do any service-based business. Here's where everybody gets it wrong though. They underprice themselves. They don't know how to position themselves as an authority figure in their niche. That's why they struggle to even, price themselves, right? Azim was charging $500 for 3 months initially. This guy was going from charging a couple $100 to charging thousands of dollars for his offer. They just don't know how to make themselves look like the one in their niche, right? They don't know how to make themselves a one-on-one offer. They look the same as every other coach, every other consultant out there. They do not use, at the end of the day, they don't use the right infrastructures, right? It's because they lack those infrastructures. They don't have the right infrastructures to convert attention into sales. All they do is post and pray. They post a reel and pray that people are going to go from there and they're going to magically, click the link in bio while they're in the bathroom and sign up for a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 coaching program. No sales funnels whatsoever. And you think that's going to happen. Because most people are on their phone distracted. They're not going to run through that. You need a proper way to keep them in place so you don't lose them. And that's where I cover this in my other video, but it is just a funnel. There's the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. This is the only way in the history of social media to get clients, right? You have to capture their attention, right? Through IG, TikTok, short form, long form. Then you need your sales assets. You need to guide them to the middle of funnel, right? Tailored value, a video sales letter, VSL, client interviews, DM nurturing, right? Making sure that they've established a personal connection with you in the DMs so that, there's multiple touch points, DMs, VSL, post-booking process, any sort of nurturing, sending them sales assets like client interviews and your sales letter, right? All these things together, a triage call, all these things have established multiple points of connection to the point where you can actually justify a couple of thousands of dollars for your coaching program. And that's how you go from charging, a couple $100 to charging anywhere from 3 to 10K for your offer, right? Azim closed a 6K deal the other day. Guy from Dubai, he signed it. Just like that, he saw the value. And he saw that Azim was a authority figure. He was the one that could get him the results. And then your bottom of funnel, you have your sales, you have your closing, right? So an actual sales call framework, a killer offer so that they've seen it the entire time, the guarantees, the safety nets, so that, it's more of a no-brainer to kind of close on call. I'll give you a full money back guarantee. And all of this together is what embodies what your business should be doing this year in 2025 and literally for the rest of your life. This is all you have to be doing right here to be able to land 6K, 3K, 4K, 5K, 10K clients, right? So you have less of a headache and you don't have to do all this, Skool stuff that you're just trying to manage 100, 200 people at once. No, you can focus on 2, 3 people at a time who are giving you the money that you deserve. All right, guys, so hope you found that valuable. Now that you know if Skool is the way for you in 2025, then I suggest watching my other video where I show you exactly how we took Azim from 2 to 3K a month to making 21K in his first 3 weeks. You'll learn exactly what systems and processes we use to dial in Azim's funnel to be able to get him those high ticket coaching clients and land those 6K, 3K, 4K, 5K deals that everybody wants nowadays. And do not forget, guys, you are here for a purpose, and that purpose is to provide a solution to a problem that millions of people are facing so you can make more to give more and help those around you. And if you guys found this valuable, hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace.